Joining me now is John Carney. He, of course, is co-author of the daily Breitbart Business Digest, a wonderful read, and David Webb, a Fox News contributor. Gentlemen, thank you both for being here. David, first to you. Before we get to trade and the economy, I just wanted a word about this attack, which again, we have a murderous attacker shouting "Free Palestine," which is something that we heard from the students all across the country, that we've heard from members of Congress. Isn't it time to recognize that that phrase is just shorthand for destroy Israel, kill the Jews?
Well, actually, it's also the new Allahu Akbar. That's what we heard post 9/11, became more well used around the world. It's being used in Europe still. But now we have two targeted attacks and the murders based on proximity, in this case, to an embassy in D.C. or an embassy event, and also to an event that's well known in an area that's well visited by many groups who, for whatever reason, organize publicly as we can under the Constitution. This is targeted Islamic fundamentalism here in the United States under a new umbrella, but the same old umbrella.
Switching now to trade, your forte. It's a deal with China. I'm just wondering, you see what happened with the markets today, and that was based on some kind of depressing news from China. I mean, you know, they're saying that they're already saying we're cheating, even though they're the ones that never agree to do anything that they sign on the dotted line. I mean, they never follow through on their promises. Are markets pricing in now the fact that perhaps a strategic decoupling with China in trade is not such a bad idea?
I think that markets are getting used to the idea that China and the U.S. really do have rival interests, and bringing that together is going to be very, very difficult. I think one of the greatest tragedies in recent American economic history is that we really lost our rare earth mineral production capacity. We used to make that stuff here in the United States. We let China take it from us, and now frankly, we're upset that they're not producing enough and selling it to us. We need to take this as the opportunity to wake up and say, okay, for now, maybe we have to buy some from China. This cannot last because China is not a reliable supplier of anything we need in our economy.
And again, I mean, to use the president's phrase, we hold all the cards. I mean, they buy so much more, they sell so much more to us than they buy from us. It's our market that they're anxious not to lose. And I mean, we do hold all the cards. And David, I'm just wondering how much we really want kind of these joint operations. Look at Huawei. Look at what we've discovered about all the spyware that is hidden in these telecom devices that we have all over the country. There was just news also that the green energy programs, a lot of the stuff that we buy for Biden's vaunted green energy revolution came from China. Turns out it had spyware and it's stuff that could turn off infrastructure if implanted in the U.S. energy base.
For too long, we let China hold the cards when we actually do owe it. To the point, they're an export economy. They need us more than we need them. Decoupling will take some time, but we need to change the game. We need to control other production lines, other supply lines, whether rare earth minerals or otherwise, moving steel back to the U.S. energy production and development. And at the same time, their second centenary, Xi Jinping's words as they look into it, is propped up by the same falsehoods in growth, in how their economies function, plus other nations around the world, David, and you know I'm involved a lot with Latin American countries as well. They want this decoupling to happen. They're sick of the debt trap, the Belt and Road Initiative, and Europe, countries like Germany and other smaller countries are sick of China trying to force their way in.
And John, we don't have to look south. We can look to the east. We have so much better faith partners in Europe. And Europe, we do twice as much trade with Europe as we do with China. I'm talking about Europe as a whole now. They do follow through in ways that China couldn't even think about following through. And this Nippon U.S. Steel deal, talk about other good faith partners that we have. Japan, if we want to deal with Asia, is so much better a partner. And how much of this deal do you understand? Because there's still a lot of questions about who's going to be the owner. We will have the right to appoint the management of the company, which assumes, I guess, that maybe we'll own 51%. And who would the we be in that case?
Right. So the details we still are learning, but what I would say is, as long as the U.S. ultimately controls it, I don't really mind who owns the economic percentage. If Japan owns the majority of the cash flow coming out of it, that's fine. The U.S., it looks like, is going to basically have a veto over the management of this company and its board. That's what we need. We need to make sure that Japan or anybody else in the world cannot use this to weaken U.S. steel production, that they have to modernize and keep up capacity. As long as that's happening, I think it's wonderful. I think you're right. Japan is obviously we have decades of good experience dealing with Japan. Japan, by the way, built, when we asked them to, they came and moved huge parts of their auto production into the United States.
That's right.
They made enormous investments.
And they're investing $8 billion on upgrading the equipment of U.S. Steel, which means that U.S. Steel will be able to produce lighter, stronger steel than they have been, which is perfect for our auto industry. And the supply chain will be all here. Our auto industry won't have to go overseas for the supplies.
Right, absolutely. And as the steel becomes important, not just for the cars themselves, but as we automate a lot of the production we're going to move back to the United States will be automated. Guess what? Building the robots to build the cars requires a lot of steel.
And by the way, Japan got in just before the president doubled the tariffs on steel. So they're going to be making a bundle. They're going to be selling non-tariff steel. So it's perfect for them.
This is one of the things Donald Trump keeps saying is, look, if you build it here, you'll avoid the tariffs. If you don't like the tariffs, we're going to see a lot of countries whose governments may bungle the negotiations. But the companies in those countries are going to say, wait, I know how to get out of the tariffs. Even if my government can't do a deal, I'll invest in the United States. I'll hire U.S. workers.
As always, David, the president is triangulating. There is a political side to this as well as a geostrategic economic side. There are states in this country, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Ohio, that are desperate to get more steel manufacturing, more steel workers employed, and certainly the auto industry involves all of these key political states. So it is very politically fortuitous to happen at this
It's politically fortuitous, actually, for both sides. Remember, Japanese automakers also manufacture in the United States. That's good for their bottom line as an organization. This is mutual benefit. There are mutual benefits to both. And notice it's not a merger. It's a deal. So it's a mutually beneficial deal economically from a supply side, from all the things that we can do together technologically, including development of new technologies, robotics and automation, which then can spread out to other buyers of Japanese products that come to them from around the world. So this is really a wider deal than just Japan and the United States. It also is a model for what other countries can do. BMW, other manufacturers in the auto world, look at technology manufacturers, what can happen here. And if we unleash our energy combined with our rare earth mineral capacity geographically in this country, we become dominant.
Finally, it's got to be quick, but it co-joins also very nicely with the tax deal, doesn't it? Because you're talking about a new factory, modern equipment. I mean, billions of dollars worth of equipment can be depreciated on their tax charge.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the tax deal is providing the carrots to the stick of the tariff. We say, yes, if you build here, you will get depreciation right away. Your equipment investments will get depreciation right away. It is great to invite people over here and say, you will get a great tax deal if you build in the United States of America.
Yeah, Nippon is really forging ahead with this deal. All right, gentlemen, great to see you. John, David, appreciate it. And you can catch David co-hosting The Bottom Line with David McDowell all week long, starting tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on Fox Business.